Hey, I'm Caleb from KEJ Productions, and today we're going to be talking about noise gates and how they don't actually get rid of noise in your videos. In this video, I'll be especially focusing on vocal tracks. The first thing you have to understand is that there are many ways you can try to clean up noise on an audio track. But if you're looking at stock plugins you have in your editing software, you're most likely going to have two main options. First, you'll likely see a noise gate plugin, and second, probably something that's called like denoise or noise suppression. Let's talk about the difference. Think about a gate practically. What does it do? A closed gate keeps things out. Great, we want to keep noise out of our audio as well. But whenever it's open, it's letting everything through, even the noise in your audio. So the issue with a noise gate is that it won't do jack to clean up your audio. It's just muting the track when the signal is below a certain point, and when the gate opens, your noisy audio is still coming through full blast. This is why we use a denoise plugin. Denoise plugins use filters to help reduce unwanted noise of a track rather than just turning it on and off like a gate does. With this plugin, you'll be able to set the threshold just like you would in the gate, but in this case, the threshold is simply the level at which the plugin begins filtering what it lets through. Okay, so we're here in Final Cut Pro, and I've already opened up the Waves C1 gate and the RX voice denoise. I got those within my effects browser here. I want to take you through all of the parameters that are in these plugins. So let's start with the RX voice denoise. So the first thing we have is the adaptive mode. This analyzes the signal and adjusts the threshold automatically, and you'll be able to visually see this here in a second. If I turn this off and I put it into learn mode, the learn button will let you take a noise profile and let you set the threshold of the learned reference. So in this case, this would be the part where I'd want RX voice denoise to have a reference of this noise right here. So that's how we would do that. We typically keep this in adaptive mode. From there, you have optimize for. You have dialogue and music, and dialogue is just for like speaking vocal. Music is for like a singing voice. So that's the difference. Moving on, we go to filter type. This changes the bandwidth of the frequencies being affected. When surgical mode is applied, it removes more unwanted noise than gentle mode, but it can lead to more musical noise artifacts. So gentle mode is more transparent and softer when it is applying noise reduction. If you are in a controlled environment, I would recommend using gentle. It leaves more of the high-end frequency characteristics of the track. Okay, so moving on, all of these numbered points are called threshold nodes. They work in conjunction with the threshold fader. Each node affects a different frequency in the spectrum. So when you're set into adaptive mode, these nodes adjust automatically per each frequency band. When it is set to manual mode, you adjust these nodes for whatever band you're trying to affect. Okay, so you have the threshold, which is the point at which the noise reduction is actually working, right? But in this case, it's changing all of the nodes together. If you're in manual mode, you can see if I adjust these, the threshold will still adjust everything together. All right. And then you have the noise reduction is the amount of reduction being applied. And then you have your input level and your output level there. Okay, so moving on to our C1 gate. Gate settings are mostly universal, so as I walk through, you should be able to translate them to any other gate that you may have. This plugin is dual purpose. It's a gate and an expander, but we'll only be focusing on gate for this tutorial. Okay, so the floor allows some signal to remain so that the gate doesn't completely cut off the signal. And I'm gonna go ahead and push up this threshold so you can kind of see what this floor is doing. You can see that. So this would be the noise that I'm talking about that can remain. So if we don't want it to be completely closed off, we can just, we can just leave a little bit in there. We default that. All right, so let's move on to the gate open. The gate open is the threshold as to when the gate is opening to let signal through, and the gate close is the level below the threshold. Moving on to the attack. The attack is how fast the gate opens once the signal hits the threshold. The release is how slow the gate goes back to its closed position. And then the hold is how long in between the attack and release. And then you have your output gain here, and your input levels are coming in here, and you'll see the noise reduction here, or the gate closing and opening. All right, let's just go ahead and I'll show you what's going on here. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen to this track without any processing, just so you can hear the noise floor and what we're trying to clean up.
So be your name Bucksbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Alley Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today's your day.
Okay, so you can hear it's pretty roomy, but the most offensive thing for me is sounds like AC noise right in here. So let's go ahead and turn on this gate and try to clean this thing up. First thing I'm gonna do is, as it's playing, I'm going to roll up the threshold. You'll hear the effect that happens.
So be your name Bucksbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Alley Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today's your day.
So you can clearly hear what's going, and you kind of have a visual representation of what's happening with that noise gate. It's closing off when the threshold isn't being hit, and when the threshold is being hit, it opens up, but it sounds really choppy. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the attack, release, and hold to try to make it sound a little bit smoother when the gate starts to close. Okay, let's take a listen to that.
So be your name Bucksbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Alley Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today's your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way.
So you can clearly hear that this is working. It's cleaning up the in-between speaking notes. In here, I would probably adjust my release and hold time a little bit more just to make it sound a little bit smoother. But the point of this is that it's cleaning up in between his speaking. And really, we need to get rid of that AC noise and the stuff that we're hearing throughout the entire voiceover. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the gate, and let's jump over to the voice denoise and see how we can clean it up with this. As you can see already, it's starting to clean up the track, and let's just listen. This is default settings of RX voice denoise.
So be your name Bucksbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Alley Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today's your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way.
Man, that already sounds so good, and we just slapped it on the voiceover and it just works. So in this, I would probably adjust my threshold and reduction to clean it up a little bit more so it doesn't sound too electronic. But the point is, it's cleaning up through the entire voiceover and not just in between phrases. And that's the big difference between a gate and this voice denoise. So now we're gonna go ahead and do an A/B test. And I'm gonna go ahead and set these two parameters that I think would be the best for these vocals, just so it's a fair contest. So I'm not leaning towards one or the other. Okay, so let's take a listen to the voice denoise. I reset my threshold and reduction just so you can have a quick listen.
So be your name Bucksbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Alley Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today's your day.
Okay, let's do that again. I'm going to turn off the voice denoise and let's listen to our gate.
So be your name Bucksbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai Alley Van Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today's your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way.
So you can clearly hear between the two, the gate is working in between those phrases, and the RX voice denoise is working all the way through the track as opposed to in between those phrases. So you're probably thinking, Caleb, when the heck should I use gates? The answer for me is live audio. I've been using gates as a front of house audio engineer for almost 20 years now. I use gates on drums in particular to be able to isolate each individual mic on a drum kit. If you think about a drum kit, there's mics on everything. And so whenever I'm trying to isolate individual sounds so there's not bleeding into every single mic, that's what a gate is super useful for. Hope this video has helped you understand the difference between these plugins. Noise gates and denoise plugins are very different tools for very different applications. You need to be using each in their proper application in order to take your video to the next level. If this was helpful, share the love and like and subscribe to our channel. If you have any other questions related to audio, leave it in the comments and we'll try to keep creating more videos like this. Till next time, guys, we'll see you later.